What if I told you that you are currently walking around hiding 3 full centimeters of your actual height? I'm talking about standing taller instantly without the pain. Sounds too good to be true? It's not. Put your wallet away. I am not selling you magic beans, questionable growth pills, or a horrific limb-lengthening surgery. This is raw physics. It is the exact same science that makes NASA astronauts return to Earth 2 inches taller than when they left. It's called decompression. While the gym bros are busy shrinking their spines under heavy iron, we are going to use gravity to unlock your true stature. But before you start measuring your legs, you need to face a cold realization. You aren't just short, you are compressed. It's simply how physics works. From the second you get out of bed, gravity is relentlessly pushing you down. Add in the modern lifestyle, sitting in a chair for 8 hours, hunched over your phone, scrolling through social media like a shrimp, and you are literally turning your spine into a crushed spring. You are walking around with a permanent structural deficit. This is where the truth hits. Most men are walking around 1 to 2 centimeters shorter than their actual biological height. Your intervertebral discs, those little gel pads between your vertebrae, are dehydrated and squashed flat by the end of the day. Enter calisthenics, and specifically the art of hanging. We aren't here to promise you that your bones will magically lengthen like Pinocchio's nose. That is a lie. We are here to talk about decompression. While the rest of the world is spending thousands on height increasing insoles to fake it, hanging restores the space between your vertebrae that gravity stole. It is not about adding fake inches, it is about demanding back the height that already belongs to you. Let's clear up the biggest scam first. The growth hormone industry. You've seen the ads. Take this pill, drink this shake, and boom, you're suddenly NBA material. Here is the cold, hard reality check. If you are an adult, your growth plates are fused. They are done. Sealed shut like a bank vault. No amount of magical powder, calcium overload, or secret herbs is going to reopen them. If you start chugging those height-boosting milkshakes now, you aren't going to grow up. You are going to grow out. You are literally paying premium prices to get fat. That is the only growth you are going to see. So stop looking for a shortcut in a bottle. The only thing getting lighter is your wallet, while your height stays exactly the same. But the real enemy of your height might be the very thing you think is building you up, the gym. Specifically, the spine crushers. I'm talking about heavy squats and ego-lifting deadlifts. You load up a bar with weight you can barely control and rest it across your shoulders. What do you think is happening to your spine? It is getting crushed. You are literally compressing your vertebrae under hundreds of pounds of iron. It's simple physics. You are squeezing the fluid out of your discs like a wet sponge. So while you think you're turning into a beast, you're actually compressing yourself into a muscular stump. You walk in at your normal height, and after an hour of heavy spinal loading, you wobble out shorter. You are basically paying a monthly membership to shrink yourself. Now let's flip the script. If the gym is the problem, calisthenics is the antidote, and it starts with the dead hang. It sounds simple, almost stupidly simple, but the mechanics are undeniable. When you grab that bar and let your body hang loose, you are reversing the curse of gravity. You are creating a vacuum effect. Remember those squashed discs? Decompression allows them to suck up fluid and reinflate like a fresh sponge. And let's talk about the feeling. The first time you fully relax into a hang, you are going to hear it. Snap, crackle, and pop. That isn't your body breaking. That is the sound of your spine finally breathing. It feels better than any overpriced chiropractor visit. But I'm not here to sell you a fairy tale. Here is the twist. This height boost isn't permanent. You don't hang once and stay tall forever. Gravity is undefeated. By the end of the day, you will shrink back down. But here's the key. If you decompress daily, you maintain that morning height for longer. You aren't growing new bone, you're just refusing to let gravity crush you into a shorter version of yourself. Now let's talk about the second reason you look short. You are standing like a shrimp. Seriously, look in the mirror. Nerd neck, rounded shoulders, and a back that looks more like a question mark than an exclamation point. That is the text neck epidemic. You are folding yourself in half to stare at a screen, literally hiding your own height. Calisthenics forces you to unfold. You can't do a proper pull-up with a hunched back. You can't hold a bridge while looking at your feet. These movements force your chest open and your spine straight. When you fix your posture, you aren't just standing better, you are unlocking phantom height. It's visual, yes, but to the world, you just grew 2 centimeters instantly. And finally, let's address the core. In the gym, abs are for show. You do endless crunches hoping for a six-pack, but your spine is still collapsing under gravity because your core is just decorative. In calisthenics, your core is your armor. We don't do crunches. We do L-sits and leg raises. We build a functional core that acts like a steel column, holding your upper body perfectly upright. A weak core lets you slump. A calisthenics core locks you into a vertical line. You aren't just getting abs, you are building the structural integrity to stand tall like a flagpole 24/7. But it is not just about what the tape measure says. It is about the alpha stance. This is where psychology meets physiology. When you train calisthenics, when you master the lat spread, when you open up your chest, you physically take up more space. You are sending a biological signal of dominance. Think about it. A guy who is 5 feet 9 inches but stands with his chest out and lats flared looks bigger than a guy who is 6 feet 0 inches but slumped over like a wet noodle. We call this projected height. You look taller because you're standing like a giant, not because your bones grew, but because your presence did. And let's be honest, that psychological height, it matters just as much as the number on your ID. Finally, let's talk about the long game. Because being massive right now doesn't mean anything if you can't tie your own shoes at 50. Look at the hardcore heavy lifters who have been grinding under the bar for decades. They don't walk, they shuffle. Their knees are shot, their lower backs are ticking time bombs, and their joints sound like a bag of gravel being shaken every time they stand up. That is the price of lifetime compression. You are literally grinding your cartilage into dust for the sake of a new personal record. Now look at a lifelong calisthenics athlete. They don't move like stiff robots, they move like water. Their joints are bulletproof because they spent years mastering how to move their body through space, not just fighting against a crushing vertical load. This is the difference between aging and decaying. Ask yourself seriously. Do you want to be the grandpa who needs a cane just to get out of his armchair? Or the one who is still doing pull-ups in the park while the 20-year-olds watch in shock? One path keeps you standing tall forever, the other slowly grinds you down into the ground. So here is the verdict. Does hanging make your bones magically grow longer? No, that is a myth. But does it help you reach your absolute maximum height potential? Does it stop you from shrinking into a compressed version of yourself? 100% yes. You have 2 choices. You can keep popping pills, buying insoles, and complaining about your genetics while sitting like a folded lawn chair. Or you can find a bar, hang on tight, and actually own the height you were born with. Stop looking for a miracle in a bottle. The only magic you need is gravity and a little bit of discipline. Now I want you to do a test. Measure yourself in the morning, then again before bed. Drop the difference in the comments. Let's see how much height you are actually losing every single day. And if you are done guessing and want a step-by-step roadmap to fix your posture and build real strength, check out the Calisthenics Playbook linked below. It's time for an upgrade, just you and gravity. Now, I want you to run a test. Measure your height the second you wake up tomorrow, and then measure it again right before you crawl into bed. Drop the difference in the comments below. Let's see exactly how many centimeters gravity is stealing from you every single day. I bet the results are going to be a cold wake-up call. And if you're tired of shrinking and want a concrete plan to stay tall, check the link in the description. I've put together a specific 30-day posture fix inside the Calisthenics Playbook. It is the exact roadmap to stop standing like a shrimp and start owning your full frame.